Mario Land was one of the launch titles for Nintendo's groundbreaking handheld console, the Game Boy, in 1989. You'll travel through 4 worlds, each of them with 3 stages, making up 12 levels total. The enemies, items, and attacks resemble the original Super Mario Bros. On NES. There are a lot of identical features, like collecting coins, the Goombas and Koopa Troopas, pipes with piranha plants, the mushroom, flower, and Starman power-ups are all there, not to mention the general layout and level designs are very reminiscent of the beloved NES Super Mario Bros. But there are some differences. Some of them are very subtle, like the mushroom following an arc pattern when knocked from a mushroom block as opposed to sliding across the platform, and the fire flower now gives you the ability to throw super balls instead of fireballs, which can actually collect coins when a ball hits them. The only thing that sucks is the super balls ricochet all over the screen rather than a steady rolling pattern across the ground, and you can only have one super ball on the screen at a given time, so you might have to wait around for it to disappear before firing your next shot, particularly in the indoor levels. There's also a new item, the 1-Up Heart, which essentially just replaces the 1-Up Mushroom, probably due to the limited color scheme of the Game Boy. There's also a fair amount of new enemies, like the hopping fly, fire-breathing lion, squid, and this winged stone head thing. The 4 worlds each have a pretty distinct theme, so the enemies are segregated accordingly, which adds some variety to the mix. While the plot is generally the same as its NES counterpart, you have to rescue the kidnapped princess, there have been some tweaks to it. First off, the setting is not in the Mushroom Kingdom. It's called Sarasaland. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. The princess has also been recast as Daisy, not Peach, aka Toadstool. But the most glaring alteration is the main villain. Instead of the imposing, intense, fire-breathing dragon monster Bowser, you're up against a rather unintimidating, weak-looking purple alien named Tatanga, who has hypnotized the kingdom of Sarasaland and kidnapped Daisy with the intention of forcing her hand into marriage, which is basically interterrestrial rape. I don't know, I find the character to be rather uninspired and mediocre for a final boss, especially since Bowser is so iconic. I guess Nintendo figured you gotta mix it up sometimes, and this is a different universe, so why not? And this did lead to the creation of another iconic villain in the sequel, but I'll get into that another time. The soundtrack is pretty good, it features all original music, nothing is recycled from past games, and while every stage theme is repeated at least once, the songs fit the levels well, and they're generally all satisfactory in quality. One area I'll nitpick a bit are the controls. They're a little slippery. You'll find yourself sliding across the ground a little bit, but you do have good control when in midair, which is huge because there's quite a bit of jumping and having to land in small areas. But aside from the questionable controls and the weak choice for an antagonist, the game holds up well. So let's take a look at it from the beginning. At the start of World 1, stomp out the Goomba, grab the mushroom from this block, and enter this pipe here right after to enter the underground coin segment. Unlike in the NES Super Mario Bros., however, this doesn't also serve as a shortcut through the stage. You'll pop back up out of the same pipe. After stomping out some more Goombas, grab the 1-Up Heart in this block here. There's another mushroom block right after that here, and you'll meet up the first Koopa Troopa of the game and discover something different about him. When you land on him, it doesn't knock him out. Instead, they'll fold into their shell and blow up. So stand back after squashing them, or if you have a Super Ball, fire at him, and you won't have to worry about the explosion. Soon after that is another pipe that leads to more coins, and when you come back up, watch out for the hopping fly. He'll pause a bit between jumps. That's the best time to stomp him out. Grab the Starman from this block here, and you should be able to plow your way through the rest of the stage. At the end will be 2 moving platforms. Use the vertical moving one to get to the other one and hit the door up top. If you enter the bottom door at the end of any of these stages, you won't get the bonus stage, where Mario and a ladder will randomly shuffle across the 4 platforms. When you hit the B button, Mario's path to the bonus will commence. You'll either get 1, 2, or 3 extra lives, or a Super Ball power-up. It's always better to get the extra lives, as the weapon upgrade can be obtained soon enough into the next stage anyway, and you might actually already have it, which means you pretty much gain nothing. The second stage takes place up in the trees. Grab the mushroom from this block at the beginning and kill these flies that fire arrows in a downward motion. Wait for them to stop before you jump to squash them so you don't get tagged, or you could send a Super Ball up its ass. Kill the Koopa Troopas and slip down this area here for a hidden 1-up next to this coin block. Right after that is a pair of vertical moving platforms. They're slow, so you should easily be able to time your jumps. Then after several more arrow flies is a mushroom block, followed by 3 scrolling platforms. Same shit as before, just an additional one. Grab the 1-up in this block and carefully time your jump on the horizontal scrolling platform. Jump when it's coming to you. It's much easier to steer towards it if your jump is initially off a bit. Soon after is the end. Just make sure you quickly jump from these pieces here if you want to get the bonus. They'll drop as soon as you land on them. The third and final area of the world takes place inside, presumably a castle. Toward the beginning there's a stretch of pipes with piranha plants peering out of them. Wait for them to sink back into the pipe before you land on them, and be careful not to fall into the pits. Tread lightly down this corridor. You got stones from the ceiling falling down. They come down slowly, but you don't want to get caught between it and a piranha plant, so take your time. At the end of this corridor, head down this pipe for some coins and a mushroom block here. Then after another stretch of some piranha plants, you'll encounter the small fire-breathing lions. They'll spit fireballs one at a time, and there's a significant pause in between each of its attacks, so stand back to avoid the trajectory of the fireballs, and then immediately jump on him to avoid the next shot, or send super balls his way. After that is a fork in the road. If you're regular Mario, you can head down this way and get a bunch of coins along with the mushroom that enables you to escape and move on. Otherwise, you'll just end up with a few coins. But you're already Super Mario, or even Super Ball Mario perhaps. After this, a couple more small lions, followed by the boss of the world, a large lion. Like his babies, this guy will spit fire at you, only it's 2 consecutively, one from the top and one from the bottom. It's not a difficult pattern to figure out. He'll jump, spit while he's in the air, spit again when he lands, then there'll be a pause before he starts attacking again. Just jump over the smaller one while running, and it should time perfectly with your second jump right over him to the gate, which will trigger his death for some reason, as it doesn't pull the bridge up like with Bowser, it just explodes. If you're Super Ball Mario, just stand back, jump between the fire, and throw balls at him. Just keep in mind that the balls will be halted by the fire. After your victory, you'll have rescued Daisy, or actually it was just an imposter. Just one of those stupid hopping flies. You'll get the bonus stage no matter how you defeat the lion, just like any of the world's end bosses, and you'll move on to World 2, which is primarily based on water. Rule of thumb, don't fall in. These skeleton fish will jump out of the water. It's okay to jump onto them, just don't jump straight into them. Keep your eyes peeled for them to pop up, and staying on higher ground will help you to see them coming a lot more. There's a hidden mushroom block down here toward the beginning, and then shortly after these 2 moving platforms is a pipe that leads to underground for some coins. If you want to get all the coins in this segment, make sure you don't knock this block apart before heading up here to grab all the coins except for these. It'll trap you in the area down below, and you won't be able to get down and get the ones on the bottom. Then at this pipe, jump up to grab the last of them. Then after a bridge of skeleton fish, there's a Starman here in this block. Don't run like Sonic the Hedgehog here, you can still die from falling in the water. So keep your pace reasonable enough and you should be able to make it to at least the piranha plant before running out of invincibility. You can take that pipe down for some coins. And don't worry, you're not trapped in here. There's a hidden block against the wall here to get you up. After that is yet another mushroom block, and then you'll have some seahorses to get by. They're much like the skeleton fish in that they'll pop out of the water straight up, but they also breathe fire, so keep enough distance to see it coming and then pass. They can only fire once before coming back up. A super ball is also a viable option. Now if you're Super Mario, you can knock out this block for a 1-up here. Just make sure you don't fall into the water when going after it. All these coins in this little section here. Right after that is the end. Another pair of dropping pieces stand before the top door and the bonus stage. At the beginning of the second stage, you'll meet these robots whose heads swing off and boomerang back to them. They move slowly, so just jump on them if you can get to them in time. Get the mushroom block from here, clear the turtle from off the top of the pipe, and slip down for some coin gathering. After some moving platforms, there's a fork in the road, which you can hardly tell due to the invisible platform down here, which will only work if you're a regular Mario. It's tight in there, but since the only hazards are Goombas, you should be able to manage. You get some coins down here, plus a mushroom block on the third nook here. If you take the top route, there'll be a Starman at the end of this row of blocks, and a mushroom at the end of the second row. You'll find some more seahorses, and moving platforms before a pair of pipes, the second of which you can take down for some coins. Just watch the piranha plants. If you can't make the jump from this block to the moving platform up top, then the dropping blocks that lead up to it is your last chance. The final stage of this world fittingly takes place underwater, and although Mario swims underwater in most games, this time he decided to use a mini submarine that fires projectiles. Basic strategy is to keep yourself to the left of the screen as everything comes to you from the right. You'll see everything coming easier and you'll get more shots in. The seahorses just kind of swim towards you and the skeleton fish just pop up like they do in previous levels. Both are easy enough to avoid and shoot. But once these fish come at you in packs of 3, make sure you take them out or they'll turn around and come back. So if you miss, get away from the left side of the screen to avoid their retreat. Then there's the squid that really just sits in one spot, and when you take them out, they'll blow up and their fiery debris will come back at you. Keep away from it after shooting them, or just don't bother taking them out at all. Then toward the end, there's some seahorses that pop out of the gaps down below and spit fire. How so many fireballs could function underwater is beyond me, but we've seen it before in the Mario universe, so fuck it. There are 3 mushrooms in this stage, one in this block here at the beginning, one here as you blast through the first wall, and finally one here in this block before the boss. There's also a Starman here in this block not long after the first mushroom, and a 1-up in this block in the first wall after hitting the area of coins that spell out Mario. So the boss here is the daddy of the seahorses, it seems. He'll move along the back wall up and down, spitting fire straight ahead at 3 different levels before changing direction. Meanwhile, there's a giant fireball slowly floating around the room, bouncing off the floor and walls. Keep your eye mainly on where the seahorse's mouth level is so you can dodge its spit fire. Keep your peripherals on the giant fireball and keep yourself away from it if it ever gets close. Once you take him out, he'll blow up and you can blast through the blocks down here to get to the gate. Although you actually can do this without killing the seahorse initially. Similar to defeating the lion, reaching the gate also works too. Once again, Daisy isn't actually Daisy, it's just one of those damn squid. So now it's on to the bonus stage and on to World 3. Early on, you'll find this rockhead with wings. He'll just bounce steadily. Jump on him. There's a mushroom in this block. Just mine the falling blocks and head down the first pipe for some coins. Just be wary of this jump over the spikes if you're regular Mario. You can't bust the blocks from underneath to get up there and slip back down, so don't get yourself killed over 15 coins. Then get ready to keep your head down cause the bullet bill comes in for the first time. Cannon will pop out of the pipe, so wait for it to go back down. Then there's the running stonehead. He moves at a pretty good pace, so don't fall asleep or he'll plow into you. Land on him if you can. Pay no attention to these coins down here. You'll fall down the pit, but you can get these here. Just make sure you steer yourself to the right so you can safely land. Up ahead is a hidden 1-up. Kill the stoner first, and then there's a mushroom here. Just be careful in between the bullet bills. When the bullet bill retreats into this pipe, head down it for some more coins, and then you'll reach the home stretch where you'll have to ride boulders across these pits of spikes. Jump on one when it rolls towards you, and when you hit a patch of land, get on and wait for the next one. Be sure to get onto this platform here, cause if you continue to ride the rock underneath, you'll hit a crossfire with the next boulder. You don't need that shit. Jump over these spikes, ride one more rock across this section, and you'll hit the doors. You may need to use the boulder as leverage to get to the moving platform and across the falling blocks to then get to the bonus door. There are these giant spiders that hang down from above, and they'll descend when you get close to their vertical level. Either wait for them to come down and jump on them, or if you have room in front, just run right by them since they move slow enough. Spots like this, you're gonna want to wait. Then there are smaller spiders who hop towards you in an arc pattern. Wait for him to come near you and squash him. Sneak under here for a mushroom, and carefully land on this spot to let the spider descend in front of you. After a little bit longer, smash onto this block to reveal a hidden springboard block that can take you up to this pipe for some more coins, including a mushroom block. Careful jumping this way. You can't stay in one spot for too long, as this piece of the ceiling will slowly fall to the ground, so jump quickly. Grab a mushroom here, just keep an eye on the bullet bill. You don't want to jump too carelessly. You'll then need to ride the boulders across spikes again. Wait until it careens off into the pit, and then jump onto the next one. Then slip down the next pipe you run into for another stash of coins. When you come back up, move quickly, but be careful on the dropping blocks. Thankfully, there are only a few above a death drop, as the final 6 will only make or break the bonus door at the end. The third and final stage of World 3 has a lot of freaking pits. At the beginning, you'll scale across several moving platforms, some of which move diagonally. It may look intimidating, but they move slow enough that it's not a big deal to maneuver yourself onto the next one. Watch the boulder that comes your way right here, and then you'll find a pipe that's a little tricky to get to. The moving platform will take you up to the dropping blocks. but you have a piranha plant in the pipe, so wait on the block if you need to buy some time before jumping onto the pipe when the coast is clear. It's worth it. There's a shitload of coins down here. After that is a mushroom in this block. Just be careful chasing it down if you're regular Mario. You don't want to slip down one of these gaps. Get a running start and leap up here to get a 1-up and to bypass the small spiders down below. After that is another segment of moving platforms. There are 6 of them here, so be sharp and head down to the next pipe for some coins. Smack the hidden block here to advance and then get ready for a tight squeeze. You'll want to slip onto the platform as it's on its way to the right and then jump up this way. And do the same thing going forward, especially on this one because the platform will run past the walls and send you down the hole if you're Super Mario and don't duck underneath. After a couple of rock heads, you'll find a mushroom in this block here, and soon after is the boss, a rock head that throws boulders. Use one as a stepping stone, pun intended, to get to the upper platform and hit the gate. Give yourself some hang time so you can shift yourself into position without hitting the rock head on. Of course, this Daisy is an imposter too. In this case, one of those small spiders. So it's a bonus stage and onto the 4th and final world. Take the first pipe down for some bonus coins and then hit the mushroom block here when you come back up. You'll then encounter this ninja dude. He hops, hesitates, and hops again. Wait for him to come to you and give him an easy smash. The only thing is, he gets up after a few seconds, so you'll need to waste him with super balls if you want to take him out completely. The thing is, they're always near other enemies, so they're trying to get you distracted, so while you're buying time for the piranha plant to retreat or the Koopa shell to blow up, he'll resurrect and sneak attack you, so don't dilly-dally. There are 2 of them up ahead near a mushroom block. Get the goods right after you squash them. Then there'll be a clusterfuck of pipes, with 2 piranha plants followed by a bullet bill. The safest option is to wait for each individual one to retreat and move along one at a time. As long as you're standing on the pipe, you don't have to worry about either of the others hurting you. And if you get a running start at the end, you can grab a Starman from this first block way up here. That should help you get through at least some of the avalanche of piranha plants coming up, which you'd otherwise be waiting for an opening to move on each time, which isn't that big of a deal unless you're running low on time. After getting to the second row of blocks in this area, smash this block for a mushroom, and then watch out for a falling piece of ceiling on the next one. Be careful on this moving platform section. There'll be several of the dropping blocks, so move quickly. There'll be 2 ninjas here guarding a mushroom block. Just make sure you get your running start quick enough so that they don't resurrect right in your face. Above this moving platform is a hidden 1-up. Wait for it here before grabbing the coins up top. There's a lineup of 3 bullet bills in a row, along with a Koopa Trooper in between 2 of them to complicate things. The bullets are never in the same line of fire, even when the cannons shift position, so you can stand on them and wait for the next one to move. As far as the Koopa Trooper goes, since it's such a small area, you can't wait for the bullet bill to retreat ahead of you or it'll blow up in your face. The best thing to do is smash the turtle, then hop back onto the cannon. None of the other bullets will hurt you. Wait for it to clear and move on. Then you'll find 3 ninja dudes. Let them come to you and you can knock them all down, but move quickly. You don't want any of them coming back up. After that is another lineup of bullet bills and the doors are right after. You'll have to take the moving platform up to the blocks and you can just clear it by running straight ahead. The second stage features a lot of lava pits. Early on you'll meet this giant flower near a mushroom block over here that spits fire up towards you. If you're in position you can smash it, otherwise just make sure you're not standing directly above it. Soon after is a snake that spits fire towards you. They're a lot like the small lions in World 1. They just kind of take a stationary position and spit fire. Jump on them after it attacks you so you don't get lit up in midair. There's a mushroom block up in here, but you can only get to it if you're Super Mario, as you need to knock these blocks out of the way. If you're regular Mario, you need to slip past the piranha plants down below and you can't turn around to get it. There's a second fork in the road where you'll need to be Super Mario to go up top, which is simply an easier path, and more coin boxes, as opposed to requiring nothing and dealing with piranha plants and bullet bills and whatnot. There's a mushroom block up ahead, and now things are going to start getting tricky. These orbs float around a fair amount of blocks in this stretch, and can be quite a distraction from surrounding enemies, reminiscent of the Strat-X pad orbs from Super Mario Bros. 3. Stand beside the pipe down here and wait for the brief period where there's an opening and run by. This sequence happens twice, and then there's an invincibility star on this block. Just make sure you don't bounce yourself off the Koopa Trooper into the Strat-X pad. Wait for an opening. Starman is a huge help here too, because jumping from these moving platforms into this area with the orbs and Koopa Troopers lurking about can be a nightmare. so quickly knock the mushroom block and move on to maximize your state of invincibility. Stomp out the Koopa Troopers and the snakes in between their fireball spits, and watch the pattern of the Stridex orbs. Make your move when you see an opening. If you keep getting killed by them, then it means you're not taking your time. This pipe right here will lead you to another gymongous amount of coins. Scarf them up and take this moving platform up. Take the dropping block down and ascend these dropping blocks to the bonus door, and now it's on to the last stage. It's very similar to the end of World 2, just instead of traveling underwater, you're in the sky. You'll fight these chickens that make a bit of a swift move when they get close to you, but in general they just fly straight ahead and are easy to take out. Then there are these other planes that carry bullet bills. Taking them out will release Mr. Bill, but they go off towards the right, so as long as you're toward the left edge of the screen, you shouldn't have too many problems keeping away. The other hazard that pops up now and again are these flashy stars. They don't do anything but get in the way. You can shoot them down, but there's really no point, and the explosion from it can actually hurt you, so fuck that. Hit up the mushroom block at the very beginning. There's another one up ahead. It's the third double stacked block at the top. Right after that is a one-up heart on the standalone block. 2 blocks later in the top row is a Starman, and then there's a mushroom just before the walls start showing up. Weave your way in between them and fire at everything in front of you. Collect as many coins as you can in this wide open area. Just make sure you don't get squashed by the auto-scrolling. Get down and blow up the blocks. Then get as far right as you can so you can maneuver through these narrow areas without risking getting left behind. Hit up the mushroom block here and wait for the 2 fists that come down from the pipes to cease before plowing through, and it's on to the sub-boss, a fucking cloud. He just slowly bounces around the screen and fires chickens at you. Just stay in front of him and shoot, getting out of the way only to prevent yourself from getting pinned. After taking him out, you'll encounter the final boss, Tatanga. He fires a spread shot of 3 projectiles and shifts his position. It's a simple pattern, but it's also fast, so you have to be aware. Move in the direction he shifts and you'll get between the bullets at the same time, and just keep firing frequently. Eventually you'll take him out and rescue Daisy, the real Daisy this time, and the 2 of you hop into a ship and fly away as the credits roll. Super Mario Land may not have been the best executed Mario game of all time, but it was a solid entry, certainly not the worst. It changed up enough elements so it's not just another Mario game, and it paved the way for a big sequel, Super Mario Land 2: 6 Golden Coins. If you haven't played it, it's definitely worth trying, and if you have, it's still a good choice to pop in every once in a while. And that wraps up this edition of Aqualung's Game Reviews. See you next time.